there, my name is Claire, but you can call me Claire, and welcome back to Claire Reads. Woo! Today I'm going to be sharing 5 animated series with you that I think are worth watching. While we're all quarantining, social distancing, I'm sure a lot of you have been watching a lot more television or, you know, binge watching your fave shows on, you know, various platforms. So I wanted to share 5 of my favorite animated series with you all 20 of you. We have 20, there's 20 of us, guys. So yeah, let's talk about animated series that I love, because I like animated series so much more than live action, if I'm being honest, because I love the art, the different art styles that people bring to the table. I love the humor. I love that animated series have evolved, so they're not just for kids anymore, they can also be for adults. And I just think that they're so creative, and the people who put so much work into these shows deserve so much recognition, because they are like true artists and true creators. And I just want to, like, you know, just give a little whoop whoop to some of my faves. So first, I wanted to talk about the masterpiece that is Gravity Falls. This is, as of late, become one of my favorite shows. I think it is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I cackle out loud every time I watch it. This show is about twins named Mabel and Dipper, as they decide to spend the summer with their great uncle Stan in Gravity Falls, which is a quirky little mysterious town in the middle of nowhere, Oregon. And the plot sort of takes off when Dipper finds this mysterious notebook that seems to be a log of a bunch of different mythical creatures that have been discovered in Gravity Falls. And then things just get really weird, and it's amazing. This show has so many hilarious references and so many memes, and it has so much heart in it. Like, I love that there's a really great emphasis on family and the importance of family, not just your blood family, but your chosen family. And it's silly and sweet and cute and a little bit scary. It has a little bit of a horror vibe at times. It's just like everything you could ever want in a cartoon. And a lot of the show kind of centers around the idea of conspiracy theories, and you know, knowing that as you watch the show, there's like lots of little like hints and little like glimmers of light that you can uncover as you watch things to help make sense of plot points. And I only really started to notice those things as I began to rewatch the show. I've watched the show fully through, I think, twice at this point, but I've just done so much reading online, because this show absolutely fascinates me, because like no stone was left unturned. Like everything in that put into that show was absolutely intentional, and I freaking love it. It's so creative, so well thought out, like beautifully done. Chef's kiss on the first show. That's right, we did a chef's kiss on the first show. Watch it, it's on Disney Plus. It's amazing. Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Another thing I love about this show is how this is a Disney show, and they just got away with so much crap, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, it was a Disney XD show, so like I think Disney XD has a little bit more, you know, loose reins compared to like classic Disney Channel, but like they got away with some stuff, and it's hilarious. So yeah, one of my favorite shows right now, highly recommend. There's only 2 seasons, but worth it. Every episode, every second, worth it. Yeah. Oh, I could just do a whole video about Gravity Falls. Eep. The next show I want to talk about is a Netflix original, and it's called Hilda, and it's based off of a comic book series that I actually haven't read, but I just stumbled upon this show on my Netflix recommended almost a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it is the cutest and most wholesome show I've ever watched. It's so good. I definitely think it's more aimed towards kids, but I, as an adult, like, loved it so much and had so much emotional connection to it. Basically, the show is about a girl named Hilda who lives in the wilderness with her mom, and they have a really great connection to nature and all the different creatures that live in the forest that aren't, you know, your typical animals. You know, there's trolls and elves and other things like that. And her mom announces that they're going to move to the city, and so the entire show is about Hilda moving from the woods to the city and how she's adjusting to that and making friends, but also really trying to keep her connection with nature and the land she grew up in that is very mystical. And I really love Hilda's spirit and determination. She is like the type of child I want to have. Like, she has just so much energy and zest for life, and she's so passionate about everything she does. She's just the cutest thing. I just want to hug her and meep. I just love all the shows, and I just cry at the cuteness of this show. It's so sweet. Meep. There's only one season of this show out right now, but I am hoping that will come out with another one, because like, you can watch the whole show in one day. I mean, I've done that like at least 5 times, so maybe I'll do that again tomorrow. The next show I want to talk about is Voltron, which is also on Netflix, and this is actually a remake of an 80s cartoon. And the premise is that there's this mystical super weapon called Voltron that's made up of these 5 mechanical lions that merge together to create Voltron, which is this super fighting machine. And each lion is controlled by a paladin who can only get the lion to work if they forge an emotional connection with the lion. And this show is about 5 humans who kind of stumble into their roles as paladins purely by accident, and it just follows them on a bunch of quests to kind of save the galaxy. I love the space setting. I love the characters. This is made by DreamWorks, and I think some of the same people that worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender worked on this show, because the art style and the humor very similar, which is what originally made me want to watch it. And I think the actor who voices Sokka in Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the characters in Voltron. So that just, like, hearing his voice all the time just makes me really happy, and he's hilarious in the show. This show is like a saga that kind of at certain points feels like it might never end. There's a lot of side quests and a lot of like world building and a lot of battles, and there's like multiple plots happening, so there's a lot of content to watch, but it can feel a little overbearing to like the overarching like full plot, like the end goal plot. But this is it's just like, it's kind of, unless you're like really watching it to like watch it straight through and like understand from beginning to end, like I think it's a really great show to just throw on. You know, it doesn't matter where you are in what season you're on. It's just like a feel-good show. Meep. Everyone's just really fun and funny and sweet, and like and they save the world, and it's so great, and I love it. I just love when they save the world. I love when everybody saves the world, and you know, it's just like it's one of those shows, just like, it makes you like, you get really emotionally attached, and then like suddenly, like, you know, one episode it's like you're cackling laughing because they say the funniest stuff, and the next episode you're like crying because like something really serious happens, and you're like, oh my god, they're gonna go into battle and save the world, and it's so good, and love it. So that's Voltron. Can you tell I get emotional about the things I like? First Tea-Dragon Society and now this. Woo, yeah, I'm a little sweaty, honestly. The last two shows I'm going to talk about are the two shows that prompted me to make this video in the first place. And the first one is Shira and the Princesses of Power, also a Netflix original, and I love it. It's so good. Yeah. Wowie. So good. Another DreamWorks show, so gotta love DreamWorks. This show is about a girl named Adora and how she discovers that she's actually a fabled hero named Shira. After Adora finds out that she can turn into Shira, she decides to leave her home, the only home she's ever known, which is actually the side of the bad guys, and she joins up with the Princesses of Etheria and becomes best friends with Glimmer and Bo, the Princess of Etheria and her best friend. And the story is basically about how, you know, they form this really great friendship and work together to fight the Horde, who are the bad guys. And this, it's just so good. How do I explain? There's so much friendship and love, but then also like betrayal and angst. And I love all the princesses. It's just like a really great adventure. It's so good. There's like some mystical elements, but there's also tech and like princesses and fairy type people, and it's just all good stuff. A lot of good stuff. There's clones, cool people. Yeah. So good. Oh my god, I'm a freaking wreck. But oh, I've cried multiple times watching this show, so there's that. I've seen it all the way through twice. Another thing I really love about this show, and I think is really important, is how inclusive it is. Not only are there characters in the LGBTQ+ community, but there's also non-binary characters, there's size inclusivity, there's color inclusivity. It's just like a show that includes everybody, and you know, I feel like that's really lacking in fantasy, and it's really, really cool to see. And the news that prompted this video is that the final season comes out on Friday, and I'm really sad that such a great, wonderful, like, cool fantasy is gonna come to an end. Comes out Friday, May 15th. I'm so excited. Ah! Yay! Sean and I are gonna binge watch it. He doesn't like to binge watch things, but I'm gonna make him binge watch it, and even if he doesn't like it, right? Oh good, he nodded. Okay. He's in agreement. We're gonna binge watch it. Whew, yeah. It's a great show, highly recommend. And last but definitely not least, like not even close to least, it's like more like best, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. This has been one of my favorite shows since I was a kid. I remember getting so excited when new episodes would come out, and when they would have marathons, I would watch them all day in my PJs. And this is what I love about this show, is that it has so many great life lessons in it wrapped up into an animated series that is for kids, but it's also like 100% for adults, young adults. It's just, it has so much heart and soul to it. It's so good. Oh god, how do I even like sum up Avatar? I'm sure most of you know what Avatar is about. In this world, every 100 years there is one Avatar who is able to master bending of all four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. And the current Avatar in the timeline of the show is named Aang, and he is a 12-year-old airbender, and he is the only surviving member of the Air Nomads, and he needs to master the last 3 elements, and so he makes some friends and they team up. They go on this epic quest to try to stop the Fire Nation from wreaking havoc on the rest of the nations in this world, and it's so good. It's just like that classic like hero's journey, but there's so many great lessons about compassion and empathy and patience, and it's it gives me all of the emotions. It just like makes you want to cry and scream and hug people all the time. And that was probably a really terrible explanation for one of my favorite TV shows, but you know how like sometimes you're just so passionate about something that you can't like form words about it? Like that's kind of how I feel about it. It just always has such a special place in my heart. I love the idea of bending. I really love elemental. I wouldn't call it magic in this show, but in general in fantasy stories, I love elemental magic. I think it's really cool because I love the idea of humans having that natural connection with the earth and being able to manipulate the elements in a tangible way. It's just, there's something very like, I don't know if nostalgic is the right word, but like something like very visceral and like in the sense of like being a human being, like, and that like deep guttural connection we have to earth and Mother Nature. It's just like something that really like resonates within me, and I find that I get those feelings when I watch this show. It's so I don't even have words. Here we go. But I think this elemental magic and the elemental magic in this show is what really drove me to love, you know, books like other books that have elemental magic, like V. Schwab's Darker Shade of Magic. Like, I don't think I would have been as pumped about the magic if I hadn't been so into it in Avatar. It's just like all around amazing. I'm sure you've probably, have heard about it at least if you haven't watched it. And also on May 15th, they are going to be putting every season of Avatar, The Last Airbender, onto Netflix for the first time in a very long time. So jump on that if you haven't watched it, or if you're gonna be like me and rewatch it, do that. So good. Netflix is putting all of the series back onto their website because they're working on a Netflix original live action version of the show. That's not going to come out for another year probably because of all the delays with the pandemic, but I'm really excited about it. I think they just want to get everybody hyped again because Avatar hasn't really been on any streaming services for a long time. It was on Prime a few years ago, but it is not anymore. But now it's on Netflix, so Friday, man. Get on it. Yeah. So this is like one of the cringiest videos I've ever filmed. I have a lot more animated series that I love and that I would love to share if you are interested. So if you would like to see me talk about more animated series that I like, give this video a like, or, put a comment down below, or if you have recommendations for me. I have a lot more I want to talk about though, so there's a chance I've seen it before. But I really wanted to focus on Shira and Avatar today because they are coming out on Netflix, and I am very excited, and I wanted to share my excitement with you, all 21 of you, and hopefully more of you in the future. Is my face red? It probably is. Thank you for watching. Making videos really makes me excited, and I love creating things, and I would like to keep creating things. Yeah, that was just a weird little bloop. So thank you so much for watching this video. hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you watch some of these shows, or feel free to gush about them with me in the comments if you've already seen them and love them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! Could you see my... Okay, good. I don't have any white
It's fine.
deodorant stains. But I have some hairs. It's fine.